What's going on, YouTube? What's good with y'all? What's going on with y'all? What's good? What's good? What's going on with y'all, bro? Hey, look. Nice to see y'all this fine day, or this fine evening. Whichever side of the world you're on. You know what I mean? Glad for y'all to hear my soothing voice. But look, I'm gonna make this one a little bit shorter than usual, but I have here my first ever review video. Alright, so I'm gonna start making some review videos here and there. Usually whenever like a big game comes out or some shit like that. I'm gonna be dropping some review videos and shit, you dig? But right here I have a review on Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales. Alright, the game just came out for PS4 and PS5 like literally a week ago. So I think now is a good time to at least do a review video on that. You know, I feel like now is the best time to do one because I mean, hey, when else are people gonna fucking do a review of this shit? Even though there are probably reviews out for this anyway, but you know, if you happen to run across this video, you're not sure you want to buy the game or not, if you just bought a PS5 and you know you're unsure if you want to get Miles Morales, then I'm here to personally tell you my personal opinion of the game. So I'm gonna break it down for y'all. All right, I'm gonna give y'all a little bit of a some insight on the gameplay, the story. I'm gonna give you all my likes about it, my dislikes, and then I'm gonna give you like the overall score of the game. All right, so you know, sit tight. You know, have yourself a nice little snack, get a drink, whatever. Cause we gonna be here for a little bit, not too long, but we gonna be here for a little bit. All right. So Miles Morales. All right. Let me start by saying it was a pretty good game, in my opinion. I definitely enjoyed playing it. There are some things here and there that I didn't like about it. You know, there's some things I liked about it for sure. But I'm gonna just start getting into the basics or the gameplay. I'd say. Let me start off talk about the gameplay. So, Miles Morales. All right. If I could compare the gameplay to anything, I'd say it's very, very similar to I'd say the first installment, which is like the regular Marvel Spider-Man. Very similar combat. You know, same controls. You know, you're flying around. You know, webbing through the city and shit. You know, very, very open world place. You know, you're in the city. Occasionally you run into like a crime, you just go and take it on. Other times there could be a side quest you just do, or you know, there's little collectibles around the city you just collect. And you know, sometimes there's little hideouts that you gotta just go around defeating people and stuff like that. You know, there's always something, bro. There's always something. So just pretty much how it is in the first game. It's very similar, very similar. It's like a whole, I wouldn't say like a carbon copy of it, but it's like a DLC of the first game, I'd say. But aside from all the the similarities of it, I would say that there's a little upgrade to the battle system for sure. No, with the whole venom attacks and everything, you know, because you know Miles Morales, I guess he has venom attacks, so he can use electricity and shit. It's pretty cool. What it usually does, it just paralyzes people and stuff like that. I think it's pretty cool. That's a little addition to the game. Obviously, you know, they're supposed to put it out of the way, but I like how they did that though. I like how they did it. The fact that you know the whole electricity thing going on. I think it makes for good combos for sure. You know, you have a wide variety of different venom attacks that you could use. You know, you could do a little ground pound. You know, pause. But you know, you could dive to jump into the sky and dive down, do electricity, makes a whole bit like a giant wave of electricity around you. You could do you know, Venom punches or Venom dash, you know, shit like that. You know, I think it's really cool just to have that, you know, to have those things incorporated into the game. It's really cool in my opinion. The animation of it is also fantastic. Fantastic animation with the whole moveset. So that's pretty cool in my opinion. That's pretty cool in my opinion. What's another thing I could possibly say about the gameplay of the game? Yeah, so like I said, so just having the Venom attacks, it makes for good combos. You can definitely add a lot of combos on there. You can stun somebody and then just finish them off with the finisher. It's really cool the way how that's set up. But I honestly though, despite my adoration for that whole entire feature of the game, despite my adoration for it, it does, however, make the game a little bit too easy, in my opinion. I'd say. I mean, I played and beat the game on the second hardest difficulty. That's I think that's ultimate. I believe. I think that's ultimate. I believe it's not ultimate to spectacular. I'm not sure, but yeah, I played in the second hardest difficulty and beat it, and honestly, it was, like I said, regardless of how hard the game was. I mean, or how the game was, it didn't feel all that hard to me. I mean, still, I died a couple times, or I would say a couple times. I mean, shit. If you're watching me play on stream, I did die a few times. I died some amount of time for sure. I did die, but most of the times I died because of some tedious stuff, just because I forgot to heal, or I healed too early, or you know, I misclick. You know, just stuff like that, really. But overall, the game, I mean, it wasn't a hard game. Like, it really was not a hard game in my opinion. You know, the fact that you could fight a bunch of enemies and just stun one of them, and like it kind of links and stuns everybody in the area, it's kind of broken in my opinion. I just feel like it's kind of broken. It makes things a little bit too easy just to take people down and stuff, you know. But let's see. Yeah, compared to Miles Morales compared to like the first game, just a regular Spider-Man. I say this game is pretty easy in my opinion. Just way too easy for my liking, or not necessarily for my liking, just way too easy just to handle. But anywho, aside from all that, I'd say the suits in this game compared to the first were very, very beautiful. All right. I love the suits in this game. All right, I feel like a lot of them paid homage to Spider-Verse. If y'all ever watched Spider-Verse, I mean, they had like there's like an animation in it where nearly you can move around around the game as if you're in Spider-Verse. You know, like, you know, the whole animation is there and shit. I fucking love that. It was a nice little detail they added into the game. It was phenomenal. I feel like it's just a good idea. Just I mean, honestly, I'd be surprised they didn't add that into the game, but they did. I found that pretty cool. I found that hella cool that they did that and they pulled that off. So it's pretty cool. There was also another suit they had that was just like a whole animated suit. I think that was like for Spider-Verse 2. But yeah, man. I mean, shit. Cool suits, really cool suits. Now, aside from the cool suits they had, I would definitely say that the suits are not as what should I say? There's not a variety of suits in my opinion. I feel like it's not like much of a variety of suits. The suits are better detailed, but there's not like a high variety of them compared to the first one. The first one had like a lot more variety, and like I'd say the first one had a lot more cool suits compared to, well, I'd say the first one had more cool suits compared to the sequel. However, the sequel had more detailed suits compared to the first one, so that's what I love about it. That's what I fucking love about it. You know what I mean? But yeah, I just feel like not enough suits in my opinion. I feel like there could be a lot more. I also feel like the suit abilities in this game they aren't really that useful to me. You know, I feel like from the beginning of the game, I had like two suit mods that I put on to Miles, and I went along with those suit mods for the rest of the game. You know what I mean? And it's crazy. I mean, like, shit, you think to yourself, like, wow, like, you're not gonna use anything else? No, I mean, look, you could buy other. Look, I could have bought other suits if I wanted to, but there's no point because A, I wasn't gonna wear them, and B, it's just, I don't know. I mean, they don't have like a special ability that really serves that much purpose to me. You know what I mean? I could do without them. I could do without some of them, or most of them, and anything. But yeah, that's there. That's that for sure. But other than that, the graphics are there. The graphics are definitely beautiful. They definitely serve. They definitely take the graphics of the PS5 to a different level. It shows off the graphics. It shows off how beautiful the game is supposed to look, especially if y'all play performance mode. It's very smooth, like butter. Alright, you legit move through the whole city like, you know, Spider-Man. It's crisp. I love it. Fucking love it. It is amazing. It is amazing. I love performance mode. I fucking love it, man. Yeah, there's that. Other things about the game I definitely should mention are that compared to the first game, there aren't that many side quests that you could actually do. I think there's like what 5 side quests throughout the whole game, like 5 or 6. There's really not that many side quests you could do in the game, dude. Really not that many. Also, I'd say there's not a lot of boss fights. At most in this game, you're probably fighting like 4 bosses, and that's it. The first game, dude, you had like a plethora, like a wide variety amount of bosses to choose from. Shit, you had, man, what was it, bro? There was the Green Goblin. Wait, was Green Goblin? Yeah, was Green Goblin the first one? I think he was. Yeah, there's Green Goblin. There's fucking Electro. You had fuck, who else was in there, man? You had Rhino, even though Rhino was in this one too, but you know, you had Rhino in the first one. You had I think you had who else was in the game, dude? Bro, there were a lot of like legit all of Spider-Man's like worst enemies were in the first game, and you had to fight all of them. Some of them you had to fight them like, you know, at the same time. And I love that, man. Like, that was, I mean, depending on what difficulty you were playing on, it could have been a challenge. But I found that very cool with how they did that in the first game. That was awesome. That was hype as fuck. You know what I mean? And look, I know I shouldn't always compare this game to the first game, because I know if I compare it to the first game, it's gonna make me hate it a little bit more. But it is a sequel. You know what I mean? You're not gonna look at a sequel as like a standalone game, because this game is literally a direct sequel to the first one. So yeah, I'm gonna compare it to the first game. You dig? But anywho, moving on. Yeah, boss fights are kind of lackluster. Not really much of not much, you know, of a uniqueness to them. And also, I'd say they're pretty easy compared to like how they are in the first game. All right. But that's it for gameplay. Next, I'm moving on to story. Now, let me give you all a little bit, like, before I get to the story, let me give you all a little bit of summary. A spoiler-free summary of Miles Morales. Okay, so the game itself, pretty much what it is, it's continuing off from the first one. If you saw the end credit scene from the first one, what it is essentially is that pretty much Spider-Man, or I guess Peter Parker and Miles, they had a little bit of confrontation with Rhino. Okay, and they had a confrontation. They defeated him. Got him locked up, and you know, Peter, he got all beaten up and shit. You know, he's like, okay, you know, I need a vacation. I can't keep doing this all the time. So he left the city. He went to Europe, I believe, and then he gave Miles a chance to show him that he could be Spider-Man. You know what I mean? So he said, "Okay, I'm gonna leave the city in your hands. All right, protect whatever you gotta protect and do all that shit. All right." So Miles, being Spider-Man, he has to go around doing fighting crime and shit. But let me think. What was the plot of the game? What it is essentially, there is this group, I guess you could say. I'm not sure what the name of the group is. But there's this group, and there's also the Tinkerer, who was the leader of this group, who's going around and fuck, what were they doing, dude? Going around just causing havoc. I'm guessing what their main point was is just oh my god, how did I forget what they were doing, dude? You see what I mean? Like, the story wasn't even that. The story was so short, but I forgot so much about it. But main point is there's a whole group, enemy group that we have to deal with, and pretty much the main threat of the game is just the Tinkerer, I guess you could say. But also, aside from the Tinkerer, I mean, there's another guy. Don't forget his name too. I apologize if I'm not really giving you all that much information, but moral of the story is you're Miles Morales, and you have to deal with just protecting the city and the Tinkerer and all that stuff. Who I'm guessing they're trying to have a revolution in a way. I guess they're just trying to revolt. They're trying to revolt against the city in a way. I would love to explain a little bit more, but like I said, I want to kind of avoid the spoilers for some of y'all. But anywho, that's pretty much what it's about. My opinion about the story, really, it's kind of short in my opinion. I think it's a little bit too short, if anything. I'd say aside from all side quests, the story itself is about 6 hours, like 6 to 7 hours, bro. It's really short, honestly. It's very short compared to the first game, dude. Let's see. It took me about 4 or 5 days to beat Miles Morales. I say about 4 or 5 days. The first Spider-Man, all right, it took me, or was the prequel to this? It took me what, like about 2 weeks? I think at maximum, like a week and a half to 2 weeks to beat it. Bro, there are so many side quests in the first one. There are so many that kind of made the game a little bit longer. That's what I loved about it. But aside from that, the story itself was long as fuck too. It had a long story, had a lot of stuff going on for it. I loved that about it. But anywho, I'm gonna kind of avoid all the negative stuff about it. But honestly, I'd say the story was still pretty. It was still well done. I'd say the story was pretty well done, regardless. There are cool characters. Obviously, you have Miles Morales. There was Finn, which is a girl from I guess Miles' middle school. They used to be like hella like best friends and shit. They were nerds together. Obviously, you have Rio, which is Miles' mom. Then you have his other friend. I think it starts with a G. It's like Genki or something like that. Genka. I forgot his name. But yeah, you have his friend, and that's pretty much what you have. You have all of that. Obviously, you have Peter Parker, who we don't see that much of in the game, regardless, which is kind of unfortunate. But yeah, you have all those characters. Pretty lovable characters. Good character relationships, in my opinion. They do a good job of showing backstory. I feel like the game itself, they address Miles' father a lot, which is good. I'm glad they don't really kind of brush off or dodge the fact that his father died, from the first game. I'm glad they don't, dodge that fact, because it's good. They don't fucking dodge all that. But, yeah, there's that. Then, yeah, and then also, like I said, character relationships and everything, that's pretty cool, too, about the story. But, honestly, though, despite all of that, I mean, those are some good things about the game, but despite that, I feel like the story was a little bit too cliche. And the reason why I feel like it's so cliche is because like the plot twists that they kind of try to throw at us, but it's not really much of a plot twist that much. I mean, I guess if you played, I guess if you watched Spider-Verse, some like certain plot twists won't really be too surprising to you. But like, I feel like if you did watch Spider-Verse, then I still feel like, you know, it's still the same thing. You know what I mean? Because look, the first game. Sorry if I'm bringing up the first game again, but the first game they had pretty much the same exact plot twist. You know, there's someone who no one expected to be like, you know, a villain, and you know, here they are. You know, they're wreaking havoc and shit. You know what I mean? They could be all so nice, and then, you know, so you know, they're the main villain of the game, or they're the second main villain of the game, or whatever. You know, it's always like that. You know, me personally, aside from all that, I wish Peter Parker had more screen time on the game, or in the game somehow. Even though he's on vacation, I understand he's on vacation, sure, but I wish there was like a point in time where like he just, you know, he came back. Which he did at the end of the game. Sorry, you know, spoilers. He came back, but you know, I just wish sometime in between, or at least somewhere towards the end, you know, he just kind of came back in like a, you know, I guess like as like a nice little Deus Ex Machina or some shit like that, you know, like a last minute save type of thing. I don't know. But regardless of that, though, I mean, hey, another thing I kind of noticed about the story is how not Miles, how Peter kind of never really despite him being on vacation for so long, as I assume it's for so long, I think it's like for a couple weeks. Peter hasn't checked up on Miles the whole entire time. I kind of noticed that. Like, you know, you never see Peter like calling Miles and like, "Hey, yo, is everything okay? You know, is everything good? You know, is the city still good? You know, all that stuff." Like, he never checks up on him, dude. Never checks up on him, like, not a single time. So I'm thinking, like, why would you never, like, you know, like, he's your protege. Why would you not call him up and see how he's doing? You know what I mean? I don't know. It's kind of whatever to me. I feel like even though the game is called Miles Morales, and you know, Miles should be obviously, you know, the star of the game, which he was. I still feel like Peter should have gotten a little bit more screen time instead of just being there for like the beginning of the game, and then like being there for a last minute clip at the end of the game. You know what I mean? They kind of just had him here and there. Didn't really do much. So especially since it's like a whole short game. So that's another downside. But hey, I ain't complaining too much about it. Yeah, but I feel like that, like, you know, throughout the game, it kind of feels like Peter doesn't exist. They kind of just make him feel non-existent sometimes. That's just my personal opinion about it. But yeah, so that's it for the story. Overall, the story is pretty decent. I mean, I won't lie, it's a pretty decent story, and then, you know, decent characters, all that stuff. Pretty cool in my opinion. All right. Now moving on to the likes. My likes about the game. All right. So, main thing I like about the game is the graphics. Breathtaking graphics, beautiful. Like I said before, it takes the PS5 to different levels. You know, if you're on a 4K monitor, or you're on a, you know, yeah, I feel like if you're on a 4K monitor, or you're on like a 1080p monitor, whatever it is you got, definitely you can see the game to its fullest extent. It is beautiful. Like I said, it is fucking beautiful. So definitely take control of that if you do have something like that. I'd say, what do I say? You know, aside from just, you know, like I said, aside from just like the whole layout of the cities, just like I said, fighting, and you know, the whole Venom punch thing, or the Venom attacks, all that, I love it. I'd say they do a good job of the expressiveness, you know, with the punches and everything. They over exaggerate it, but that's the point of it, you know, to make it that much more interesting to watch. You know what I mean? So there's that. Like I said, the Venom Shock mechanics, like I mentioned before, I fucking love the Venom Shock. I think it's a really cool addition to the game. Makes it more entertaining for me overall, you know. So that's why I completely adore about it. The suit, like I said, the suit designs and the animations with the whole Spider-Verse, you know, animations and stuff like that. I love that about it. I love the story. The story is really good. The characters are lovable characters. You know, they have good personalities. I feel like the voice actors for all of them also did a very fantastic job. Very fantastic job, as you know, with voice acting and everything. Especially Miles Morales' voice actor. I think he did a good job playing as Miles, so that's cool. Like I mentioned before, the combat animations really good, and also the web swing animations. Also, I think that's pretty cool too, with the whole tricks and all that shit. Another thing I didn't mention before, I like the whole camouflage mechanic thing in the game. You know, I feel like the first Spider-Man, I don't think you could go camouflage, but I mean, the fact that you can go invisible for a little bit and then you just attack whenever you want to attack, that's pretty cool. However, it is kind of broken. I ain't gonna lie, it's kind of broken. Cause like honestly, bro, like the first game, like you couldn't even do that shit. Like imagine you could just, you know, attack somebody, someone spots you, then you just go camouflage and just fly away, and then they just don't see you anymore. That's just like, dude. Like, dude. You know, you're not doing that in, you know, the first one. I'm telling you. But regardless, I still think it's a cool. I personally still think it's a cool addition. It's pretty cool in my opinion. I fuck with it regardless. But yeah, now my dislikes. Let's see. Like I mentioned before, the suitabilities aren't really that interesting or useful for me to, you know, use. I think there's like one suitability I said. What was a certain suitability that like I didn't like? It has something to do with camouflage. Something about like just extends the time of camouflage or some shit like that. It's like, dude, I don't know, dude. It was. I just feel like some of the abilities just weren't that interesting for me. They just weren't that interesting. So I don't know. But also that another thing I noticed about this game is that you have less spider gadgets in this game compared to the first one. Alright? In the first game you had 8 different spider gadgets to choose from. 8 different ones, dude. That's fucking amazing. You had 8 different spider gadgets to choose from, man. This game only gives you 4. Only 4. And that's all you get from the beginning to the end. I mean, well, sure, here and there during certain situations you get like another one added on, but like throughout the whole game you only have 4 that you can use from, and I just find that kind of fast. You know, I mean that's kind of ass in my opinion. You know, and all you get is just a web shooter, a fucking a hollow drone, or I mean a hollow clone or whatever it's called. You get the gravity bomb, which is pretty good. I like that one. A gravity bomb can set up a lot of combos for you. That's pretty cool. I used to use that shit a lot. And there's the what's the last one? Oh, the little mine thing, dude. I just feel like they could have done more with the gadgets instead of just having like 4 of them. They could have done a lot more with that, in my opinion. But like I mentioned before, less side quests, which is kind of boring. Story is too short, which I hate about that. Cliche plot, pretty cliche plot. The plot's pretty similar, like I said, to that of the first one, where there's someone who's who seems like they're normal, but apparently they're not exactly as normal as you think they are, and they're the villain. And then next you know, the Spider-Man, that person, they get into a big fight, and then next thing you know, yeah, it usually ends in tragedy. Right? Usually ends in tragedy. I'm not saying that's how the game ends, but that's usually how it ends. All right, that's how the first one ended. That's all I'm saying. But anyways, yeah, there's barely any boss fights, like I mentioned before. I think at most, like I said, you're gonna play this game, you're looking at like what, 4 boss fights at maximum. If not 4, then 5. But there's rarely any boss fights in this game. Rarely. Alright. And one of the boss fights is like a redo. So I don't. Yeah, it's very, very lackluster, man. They could have done so much better with that shit. They could have done so much better with the boss fights, man. And also, like I said, even on the second hardest difficulty, I still felt like the boss fights were too easy. I feel like they were holding your hand a little bit too much, and all that stuff, all that good business. So there's that. Also, I mean, like I said, there's that thing about Pierce seeming like he's non-existent, and the Venom attacks. Even though I love them, they are kind of overpowered. I'm not gonna lie, the Venom attacks are pretty overpowered. I mean, those shits. If you put the right mods on yourself, you can legit heal after you shock somebody. You can always heal yourself after shocking somebody. So that is far beyond overpowered. Way too overpowered. You know what I mean? But I mean, it's still cool. I guess I still fuck with it regardless. Anyways, overall, the game it's still a good game. I still personally enjoyed the game. Even though I have a lot of things I disliked about it, I'm not gonna be over here saying I disliked the game completely. I mean, I didn't dislike the game. It was pretty good regardless. It was still pretty cool. Like I said, it put the capabilities of the PS5 to the test. Put it to great use. I loved how beautiful the graphics were. Like I said before, and also the combat just really good. All that stuff in general. But still, it still kind of felt like I was playing just a DLC version of like the first game. But the only thing that's different is just like better graphics. That's just it. I personally feel like I could have done, or not me personally, but I feel like they could have done a little bit more with this game, or a lot more with this game. You know what I mean? I feel like they could have done so much more with this shit. Instead of just turning, or if the material was too short to make a full on to make the game that long, they could just make this like a whole DLC arc. Then I honestly would have been cool with this being like a DLC arc. This seems pretty. It seems good enough for this to be DLC, just because of how how lackluster it is. You know what I mean? But even though regardless of what it is, though, I mean, me personally, I can't wait for the third installment. I feel like the third installment is going to be most likely the last one in the whole franchise, but it's going to be awesome. I feel like the third installment is going to be amazing when it drops in the next 2 years or however long they take with it. I feel like shit. With taking 2 years to drop this game, you think well, shit, 2 years. I mean, they had like a whole 2 years to work on this game, so I feel like there's a reason why the game is so similar, because of how short amount of time they had to finish it. So that's probably why. But anyways, like I said, I hope the third installment is longer. I hope it brings more to the table whenever it comes out. And overall, like I said, I mean, good game. I say definitely pick it up if you have a PS5 or even a PS4. If you play the first Spider-Man, definitely pick this one up. I mean, I don't see why not. It is short, but it is definitely a good experience to go through if you ever want to play it yourself. But me personally, overall, I'm gonna give this game an 80 out of 100. All right. It's a B- for me. It's okay. All right, it's not bad or anything. I enjoyed it personally. Is it Game of the Year material? I wouldn't say so. I'd only say that if maybe there aren't any other games coming out the rest of this year, possibly. But I honestly would not say it's Game of the Year material. It is good though, but not Game of the Year material. Anywho, y'all, that's it for this review video. Thank you for watching. Hopefully, I gave y'all some of an insight to buying this game or not. I would hope I did. Like I said, you have a PS5 or PS4, definitely go pick it up. It's only like what, $50? Not too much. It's pretty cool. It's pretty good for me. Anyways, I can see why. Now I kind of see why it's $50 now. No, it kind of makes sense why it's only $50. But anyways, good game regardless. Go pick it up if y'all want to. If y'all have any other reviews you want me to do on like any certain game or certain show or anime, whatever, definitely put in the comments. Alright, put that shit in the comments. I'm looking to it. After I post this, so definitely look into that. Alright, we'll see how far we get with those and all that good business. Alright, y'all. But anywho, thank y'all for watching. Y'all made it to the end. Leave a like. Post in the comments. Do whatever y'all gotta do. And I'm gonna see y'all niggas in the next one, bro. I'm gonna see y'all in the next one. So y'all take it easy. Love the fuck out of y'all. Peace out. And like I said, spam with the like for the interactive videos. I know y'all fuck with the interactive videos. So I'm gonna keep them coming on, bro. I'm gonna keep them pushing. Alright, y'all. Anywho, y'all take it easy. Peace out.